Hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment of On the Clock. I am here joined by a real human. Say hello,
Hi.
real human.
Hello, I'm a real human. I'm a voice of the people. I'm just a regular guy.
Nice to meet you, real human. And if you know the general consensus of the show right now, you'll know what to expect. And without further ado, we are now on the clock. So, Mr. Real Human, give yourself a little introduction. Tell people what you need to know.
Like I said, I'm a real human. Obviously called Dylan, but I'm a voice of the people. I'm an audio broadcaster, and I will say things that the mainstream won't. I'll tell you things that most people won't. I won't lie to you. I'm here to just spread awareness, spread the truth, and just let people figure out things for themselves. It's a wacky world, and I'm just here to make sense of it.
And that's the very big consensus of the show. That's what we're all about. We're all about the discussions. We're all about just the pure, unfiltered opinions of the common everyday people. And that's just kind of how it goes, you know. People dating people from all over the place. It begs to differ, you know. You never know who you're going to get to speak with. I've had like a couple of plethora of other guests here, and all of them are different. All of them are different. Maybe because most of us were talking about different subjects. And with that, that is now a minute down. So, what can you tell us about the current zeitgeist surrounding our culture in Britain? What have you noticed?
So there's a proposed message, some sort of hidden ideologies that we all sort of prescribe to, especially when making media, especially in the mainstream and in the news. There's this push of an agenda or an ideology that some may hold, some may not. Some may call it left, some may call it, far left, some may call it whatever, but there is this proposed sort of message that we all have to live under this framework of, you have to believe this, or you have to think that, or you at least have to be open to this. Otherwise, you're a bad person. You get called, things like Nazi, or you're out of touch, and that can. Sorry.
Yeah, it does also, it kind of, in that sense, it just kind of gives a little disservice to the people who actually are on that side, because we have big corporations being like, support them or else, when they're just like, I didn't want this.
It minimalizes people too. It limits people in what they can do creatively. I feel like if you're talking about mainstream media these days, I don't watch new TV shows because every single new TV show that comes out, I already watched it in some form or another, because it's always just checking the same boxes. Does it have this type of character with X disability or Y sort of minority?
Yeah.
Can I manipulate that to manipulate masses for the so-called non-existent modern audience?
Yeah. Now, since we're like around we've skipped a couple of seconds in this subject. What do you think caused this shift?
So what caused the shift was definitely just a natural pendulum swing between right and left, or sorry, right and left. You can't see the air quotes, but
yeah, he's doing air quotes.
There's a chance, where people they vote a certain way, they think a certain way, they believe a certain way, and it flows around from time to time. But really, there's an actual just like plan for those that are way out of public eye, way out of political eye, the real people that run the world. They've got a plan, and there is no shift, there's just constant change, but progress isn't always positive.
Yeah. Now, with that, let's think back to when, let's say, you were just like entering your 18s, your early 20s. What was the culture like then? What do you remember?
So there was still a lot of it left in terms of like the internet felt like a wild west. You could have opinions of your own, you could have theories, you could have things that you believe in, and you had every right to post them, and everyone got on well. Now, there was a shift as I was getting older. Like, you're at 18, I definitely saw more of a prevalence of left-leaning politics and entering things like mainstream media and politics in general. There was this sort of pushback of like, we're progressing as a society. You can't say that anymore. But there was still that freedom of, but I can say what I want, deal with it.
Fair enough, actually. And now we are down to one last minute, and with it, here comes the big one. Are you ready? Do you see change?
Of course. A lot of people are not ready for the actual answer on that, though, because it's a very complicated answer, but there is change coming. And like I said, progress isn't always positive progress, but there are changes coming in society, not just in the media and in culture in general, but the way that things are run from the ground up. Now, it's changing drastically, and it's all about standing to your own principles, even if you stand alone.
Very, very fair. That's a very fair assessment. I can completely understand that.
I mean, obviously, don't go against the status quo if it's going to be illegal, but the world is changing. It's okay to change with it as long as you just remember who you are.
Yeah, that's a very good message. Remember yourself first and foremost before taking anybody else into account. I very much appreciate that. And funny enough, that is us. Just as we finished talking, we have officially ran out of time. I'm very sorry, everybody. But anyways, thank you very much for watching the 4th installment of On the Clock. We will be back. Good night.